Welcome to the Crush Your Sugar Craving Summit. I'm Michelle Jolly with Healthy Horizons Coaching. Today we'll be interviewing Dustin Maher. Dustin is an entrepreneur and fitness professional. He is passionate about helping people live an extraordinary life. He encourages others to challenge their notions of what they are capable of and to embrace change and growth. To do this, he created the Transformation Center in Madison, Wisconsin. The Transformation Center is a place where people can go to transform their fitness, mindset, nutrition, health, and beliefs about what's possible, all while surrounded by a safe and supportive community of other people working to do the same thing. He sets people up to maximize their potential and live their best life, whatever that means for them, by helping them reclaim their health in an unhealthy world. Let's welcome Dustin. Thanks for being here today. It's so good to have you.
Thanks for having me on, Michelle.
Yeah. All right. So we got a little bit of information from your bio, but why don't you give us a little background, how you got to where you are today in the health and wellness industry, and a little bit about yourself.
I'll try to keep the 14 years as quickly summed up as possible, but I graduated from University of Wisconsin-Madison with a degree in kinesiology, exercise science, as well as business, and just started initially working with moms exclusively, and we had free childcare, and that kind of grew quickly, and then I started kind of boot camps. I was the first kind of boot camp person in Madison, and we grew to 12 locations around town. And then around 2012, 2013, we started a program called Killer Curves, which is a weight loss specific program that really focuses on behavior modification more than anything else. So sugar is a big topic that we talk about, but it's for people who have 30 to 150 pounds they're looking to lose. And most of our clients most of our trainers who teach it have lost 50 to 100 pounds themselves. So it's pretty cool. It's half exercise, half discussion. So did that. And then our largest and most popular program now is our Fit Over 50 small group personal training. And that's just really exploded over the last few years. And it's small group training. We're able to offer it at about a third of the price of a one-on-one trainer. And the community and the accountability is off the charts. So I know right now we're filming this during COVID. So we are open socially distanced, but we're doing about 50 live Zoom workouts every week and doing regular text messaging, one-on-one texting with our clients, and lots of other stuff. But we've had to be creative. But those are sort of the fast track, I guess. I've done a lot of online programs throughout the years, DVDs and different programs. So written a book, Fit Moms for Life, you can get on Amazon, and have a supplement company. So a bunch of different things. But I'm really passionate about helping people change their lives and create whatever transformation they want in the health and wellness space. And what I found, and I'm sure you agree, Michelle, that if you can change your physical states, your energy, other areas of your life will change too. Have more confidence, which confidence breeds a lot of other areas of your life improving. So I look at health and nutrition as just a catalyst, a really big lever that you can pull to really help someone change their life.
Yeah, it's great to have your work out there. A lot of different people are really benefit from it. And it's true that if you are able to, even just starting your day off with a healthy activity or food or something, it gives you better motivation for the rest of the day. So,
absolutely.
So what do you see as, kind of just from your experiences and clients, what is the biggest problem in America of overconsumption of sugar? Where is the sugar found most?
Yeah, so I think even just before that, the people who work with our clients, especially who are obese or morbidly obese, but even just everyone, I think sugar is the number one culprit, or just refined carbs in general. And I think most people, that's like the lowest hanging fruit. If they can, reduce that as far as body weight goes, as far as diabetes, just a lot of different health markers, it's probably the biggest lever you can pull within health and wellness is reducing your sugar intake. So, I think there's the obvious ones that people know about and probably consume more of than they even realize. So, that could be sugary sodas or coffees or juices. A lot of times people think juices is healthy. We do grocery store tours. We take all of our clients every month on grocery store tours. And one of my favorite things is to take them to it's in the fruits and vegetable section. And it's there's Naked brand, Odwalla. There's a few different brands of juices that are like, I don't know if they say fresh squeezed, but if you look at the sugar content in those, it's like 45 to 60 plus 70 grams of sugar in one of those, which is way more than a Mountain Dew or anything like that. So people are shocked at how much sugar is in juice, and especially those are kind of juice concentrates. So those are some big ones. And then, I personally believe that eating fruit is good to do, even though obviously it's sugar. I tell people, like, if you're looking to lose weight, don't eat 5 bananas a day, watch your glycemic index and all that. But, to say don't eat fruit because it has sugar, I think is just irresponsible, at least for a long-term solution. And then I think just overall, I don't know how you guys are defining sugar, but just refined carbs in general, anything that you see that has enriched wheat or enriched anything in it is generally pretty not good and turns into sugar right away. So, and then we'll probably get to it, but I don't think for most people just saying don't ever eat sugar again or keep it under 10%, I think it's just really hard. I mean, I like sugar like like everyone else, and so I think adding those kind of cheat days in, those splurge days are okay. I know some people that triggers a response that then puts them into a tailspin. So if that is, that type of person, maybe it is better to really just try to stay away from it. But I just see so many people go on these really strict diets that are not sustainable. And usually they have no sugar or very low sugar, and it's just hard. So then there's the other things that are not as obvious, like ketchup or just all those condiments, and those sorts of things add up, but it's not as dramatic as what I mentioned previous.
Yeah, that helps people give ideas of things they can look for, and grocery store tour is a great idea to help people actually take a look, because they just go with what they usually buy, and
read
don't even think about it.
Read food label, because there could be 3 of the same thing. They're different brands, and one might be a lot cleaner, or one will have a lot less sugar in it. And you don't know that from just looking at the label or looking at the packaging. One might say organic, one might not be organic, and probably the non-organic one is actually better. We do an example, if you guys, this is not really sugar related, but cottage cheese or sour cream. If you go and look at Daisy, if you guys have Daisy, and then Organic Valley has like 10 ingredients, and Daisy has like 3 ingredients in it. So I would probably argue that Daisy is probably better in that situation. So you would never know that unless you read the ingredients label.
Yeah, labels can be deceiving. They try to do that.
Trick you. Yep.
Yeah. So one of the programs you mentioned in the beginning was your Fit Over 50 and how that's growing so well. How do you do things different for that demographic, and what are kind of their specific needs? And maybe do you do a little bit of food planning?
Yeah. So I would say that it's more dramatic, the differences in our exercise. So I can just real briefly talk about that, but I know this is more on sugar. But focusing on strength training, I believe, is important for every age group. But as we age, strength training needs to be the most important thing that we focus on. So we do more strength training, and we also reduce the impact. So instead of having someone try to run or jump, do plyometrics, or really we still try to do explosive stuff, but just really like high impact activity, we try to minimize that, because either they've already got some bad joints, or the risk is higher than the reward of that exercise. But we do try to incorporate still explosive movements, because as we age, we lose fast twitch muscle fibers a lot quicker than our slow twitch. And fast twitch are all those muscle fibers that are working on your quick balance, your agility, your speed. And you still, like, it's ideal to still have that to some degree, and you're going to lose it, of course, or it's going to decline. But focusing on different things that you can do for that. So, like if it's a squat, we wouldn't do a squat jump necessarily, but maybe we would squat down and come up really fast and come up onto their toes, or put your foot up on a bench or a step and step up really fast. You wouldn't necessarily jump up, but you would step up explosively. Those sorts of things are good. And then as far as nutrition goes, I mean, metabolism does, I would say, slow down as you age. And a lot of that's just because you've lost muscle. So, we work with a lot of postmenopausal women. Fat just seems to magically accumulate around the waist at a much higher rate. And so I just think that the eating requirements are pretty similar to if you're 30 or 40 overall, but you just have less wiggle room. So you have to be more strict if you want to maintain your current, body fat or your weight or whatever. So that's kind of what we see. And we still have, our clients are still losing tons of weight in their 50s and 60s and 70s even. But it's just, yeah, you got to be a little bit more, I'd say a little more strict. One thing I would say is protein intake. We try to increase protein intake as someone ages because they're not able to absorb it as well. So it requires a little bit more to take in. So that's about it. But otherwise, excess sugar is not good for a 20-year-old. It's not good for a 2-year-old. I've got a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old here, and it's not good for them, and it's not good for a 70 or 80-year-old either.
Yeah, all right. So in your programs, do you help people with food plans and kind of help them? Because I know like the achy joints could be contributed to sugar and inflammation and all that stuff. So kind of help people.
Yeah, so we have holistic nutritionists that we work with that design the actual meal plans themselves, the kind of our templates, but we focus more on accountability and how to implement it more so than anything else. But yeah, we break down kind of what lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks could be, and we're really a big believer in just well balanced. Don't eat all carb breakfast or all carb anything. Really kind of add a fat or a protein in there to kind of make it complete and help sustain that energy long term and not just kind of give you that sugar spike.
Yeah. And do you ever get into like working with suggesting or questions from clients about natural sugars? I know people kind of wonder, is the stevia, xylitol, monk fruit and all that any better, or is it just
yeah, so we do get questions about it. We talk about it. I feel like I'm less sure over the last couple of years. I was more convinced that like stevia, for example, was great or was just fine. And now I don't know what I think of it. Some of the research coming out, they're processing stevia now. So that's an issue, I think, is they're trying to take away that bitterness taste to it that it has. So anything that's processed is probably not the best. And I know some people just have issues, for example, with stevia or another sugar alcohol. But at this point, my belief, in my opinion, is that it's better than fake sugar, sucralose, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, we have stevia here that we use sometimes. So I've also heard the argument that you just need to suck it up and change your taste buds to not crave the sugar as much. And it is true. Like if you go on a low sugar diet for like 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe someone's been addicted to soda. We've had probably thousands of people at this point, stop drinking soda, and they go back and they try to take a drink. Like it's so nasty sweet. It's because your taste buds have completely regenerated. You've lost the taste buds and new ones have grown. So so there's that argument too, is like, we live in such a sweet society that if you can kind of break that, when you do have something that's really sweet, it's almost repulsive. So I see both arguments, but at this point, yeah, I think those natural sugars are okay. Natural sweeteners are okay in moderation, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I found a lot, even myself too, and with clients that, other vegetables that you think might not be sweet kind of become sweet as you start changing, like bell pepper. Red bell peppers are super sweet to me.
Right,
So,
exactly. Carrots, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we kind of touched on some people can be addicted to sugar, but not everybody is, and it's at different levels. And what are some like lifestyle changes and strategies that people could use to help them overcome sugar cravings?
Yeah. So I think I'm all about trying to create the environment that requires the least amount of willpower, because willpower is finite and it will let you down at some point. So we work a lot with our clients on environment and sort of what that looks like. And, the home environment is definitely probably the first place. And now with COVID, this is definitely the most important place to start, is like looking in your pantry, looking in your refrigerator, your freezer. How accessible is sugar or just processed food in general in your house, and how accessible is healthy food in your house, right? So like cutting up fruits and vegetables and having them in containers that are visible that you can just grab and eat. That's going to be a lot easier and require less willpower than if you have to like cut them up or clean them or wash them. If you have a bowl of M&Ms sitting on the counter, like, I don't know, I can't stop it from eating them and stuff. So you just gotta like, and it's really tough if you're with us, if you live with other people who have, you know, bad habits, right? So cleaning up the environment. We, at my house here, my wife and I are on the same page with nutrition, and man, there's very few, like, I'm trying to think what I have to, if I have like a sugar craving, we sometimes have chocolate chips in the house, like to make whatever, cookies or something, or chocolate chip pancakes. But we've had to stop, like she's hit them now, because I will like take handfuls of them. And over the course of like 4 or 5 days, I can magically eat a pound of chocolate or chocolate. Yeah. So, but there's very few things we have in the house here that are sweet. So I got to get really creative. I'm trying to think of other examples, but yeah, there's just not much here that we have. So if I do want something, I got to go to the house to buy it. And so I think, you know, instead of having like tubs of ice cream sitting around, if we want to have ice cream, even though it's way more expensive and I hate buying it, I would just rather like go and get a 1 serving type of thing. Or maybe we bring back a pint to split between the 2 of us, or something like that, but it's just not sitting there all the time. So your home environment is I think the most important. If you go into the office, you know, I work with a lot of teachers and nurses, and those break rooms are like the worst places ever. And so, you know, those are really tough, you know, so a lot of times people won't even just go in the break room. So pack their snacks and lunches and go for a walk instead. But just staying away from that temptation. Or, you know, the classic, everyone's, you know, got their cubicles and they put candy or bowls, you know, at the edge of each of them. And you've had to like walk different paths, you know, around the office so that you can avoid those certain desks.
Yeah.
So those are just some tips. We had a woman who was addicted to fast food, and in Madison we have a road called Mineral Point Road, and it's just like, there's probably, she said from the time she goes, it's a very short drive from home to work, and on her way home from work, I think it was like 2 miles, but she passed maybe 15 fast food joints, and every time she would stop. And so we had her drive a different direction where she didn't hit them, and it like totally changed her ability to not go there. So just be thinking, and then different people you hang around, you know, like the obvious one would be like a happy hour. Like maybe you have friends that like, that's how you associate with, that's how you hang out, is you go to the bar and drink or have appetizers. And it's how can you either find a new group of friends or be the influence to suggest other things. I personally don't drink at all. I've just never had a sip of alcohol, and I still hang around people who drink in general, but I don't hang out. I never go to a bar basically. And so I have them come and join me on my terms. So maybe that's for a walk or a bike ride or at the pool or whatever it is, but I'm not going to meet them in their environment that I don't necessarily feel comfortable in or agree with or is towards my goal. So yeah, environment's key. I mean, if you can really set yourself up with a really supportive and healthy environment, the willpower is just so much less necessary. It's still there, but it's not much.
Yeah, lots of good ideas to help people make some changes. Yeah, they can do quickly.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings in also the social pressures of, if you're trying to eat healthier and low sugar, low carb, maybe. Is there any other ideas? Like even if going to a family gathering where you have, maybe you and your wife are eating healthy, but then your extended family always has treats and things. Is there anything that
so potlucks, we talk a lot to our clients about potlucks or just, you know, family gatherings. And I don't think you should expect everyone else to do what you're doing. So, you know, I would obviously choose to bring some healthier options to it. And for me, like I'm like I'm a finisher, I say. So like I'll finish anything. Like if it's that bowl of M&Ms, I'll eat the entire one, and I can eat a whole family-sized bag of chips. And like I have a really bad, like once I start, it's bad. So so if I'm going to go into an environment where I know it's going to be really unhealthy, I will try to eat beforehand, so I'm just not that hungry. So that's one tip, I guess. But yeah, it's just, you can't expect anyone else to to do what, to be on the journey you're on. So, but if they're self-sabotaging you on a regular basis, I think that's a different situation, and you need to have a conversation with them and tell them how you feel and why you feel that way, and ask them to do X, Y, and Z instead. And, if they're not willing to do that, then you need to start, I think, distancing yourself from those people, or at least, again, changing where you meet those people at.
Yeah, good suggestions. You also mentioned you have a couple kids. How are you bringing up the topic of healthy eating and sugar with them to kind of give them awareness of food choices and how it affects their energy and mood?
6-month-old, she's just drinking milk yet, but the 2-year-old, we haven't like dove deep into like sugar per se, but we try to be the example, and we show him everything. I mean, he sees everything we're eating, so that's important. And what we have chosen to do, and we'll see if we maintain this or we change our approach, is whatever we're eating, whether that's salmon or whatever, any sort of vegetable, we cut a few pieces up and we put them in his plate. And we say before he gets milk or whatever he loves that he always is asking for, he has to finish that, or at least have those 2 or 3 bites. And if he doesn't, we will just let it sit there, and he'll have it for the next meal. And so the first time we implemented this, he was 18 months. He understood everything. And this was for breakfast. It was eggs, which he usually eats, but he didn't want to eat them. He held out, so he didn't really eat breakfast. He had maybe a bite of bread or something. He held out the entire day, went to bed with no food the entire day, drank water. Next morning he wakes up, still doesn't want to have it. And I think he went till 3 p.m. Until he gave in. And then he ate them, and then it was fine. And then he's done it about 4 other times, but each time it's been shorter and shorter. And like the last time he held out for 3 hours. So it's getting better. And so that's how we've decided to do it. It's like we want to encourage him to at least try things, and it's not like he has to have a huge amount of it, but because taste buds change and stuff. So, but I think more than that, it's just be the example, and don't be drinking soda. We don't really have juice in the house. What else? He doesn't really drink. We have these little sippy, like these juice containers that usually, if he's over with other people, or maybe other kids have, and they come over and they want juice or whatever, these are like mostly water. Like I've tasted them, they're so watered down. They're juice boxes that are like mostly water. So we like have given him a few of those here and there. But yeah, besides that, like we'll let him like, once every 2 or 3 weeks, I might have like a Sprite, for example, and I'll let him take a sip of it, because I don't want him to be like, I know people are like, I'm not going to have my kids eat any sugar. I'm not going to have any ice cream till at least 6 or 7. And I just feel like then when they go around to a friend's place or something, they're going to be like, just want to pig out on it. So we try to make it not a big deal, I guess, is another thing. It's like, hey, you want a little ice cream with us? Here's some ice cream, and give him a few bites. And fortunately, he doesn't really actually seem to love sugar yet. It doesn't seem like to be his favorite thing. So we haven't had issues with it, but also, yeah, we just don't want to make it taboo. Like sugar is evil. Like we don't want to put that message out there, but it's now just kind of get them to, be open to trying a lot of things out.
Yeah, those are some good suggestions. Just in case people are wondering, what is the brand of that? Do you offhand know the brand of that juice?
Tessa, do you know the brand of the juice? Ask my wife. Honest. H-O-N. So Honest, Honest, juice boxes, I guess.
Okay. All right. And then just thinking with the Fit Moms for Life group, do you help them suggest ways that they can help their kids get healthy, or is it more focused on the mom?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly, we focus on everyone. So we try to provide healthy meal plans that are simple, that taste good, that kids like as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So other experts have talked about how like society has created cravings, possibly from like we make it like a reward or a prize, and we with the sugar. So like
Mhm.
we celebrate with birthday cake or holidays with cookies, or you did a good job, here's an ice cream cone. Do you think there's a way, or are you trying to do any of that with your family where we make it not a sweet treat
Right.
as a
Yeah.
reward?
Yeah. I mean, like, I always get crap, like, but I like say like Girl Scout cookies. You're like, it's there's so many examples of that. Or when kids, my kids aren't in school, but I hear that, like, for birthdays, kids bring in treats, right? And like you said, you know, there's going to be 20 or 30 birthday celebrations within a school year. And so, yeah, we try to, for going over to a friend's place or something, like we try to bring something healthier. Trying to think, like, I mean, my kids are so young that we really,
Yeah.
there's not too many opportunities yet that we've had.
Mhm.
But I'm sure we'll still like do a cake or something like that. It's not like we're gonna, stick a candle in an apple or something like that and and say this is your birthday. But yeah, I think I totally agree with you, and especially like when, yeah, everyone celebrates everything with sugar. That you probably shouldn't always do that, but if it's a birthday for your family, like there's still certain things that I think we'll still
Yeah.
do that's not healthy. Um, but yeah, the whole like reward, like, so that we get our clients to try to just not reward with food, like reward with other things, like
Mhm.
buy a new pair of running shoes, or a Lululemon outfit, or go get a massage, or get a new water bottle, or whatever it is, get a new Fitbit, and yeah, that sort of stuff. And then like potty training, my wife just reminded me with potty training. We did tattoos, and
Uh-huh.
he right at 2 years old is completely potty trained, which I
Yeah.
guess for boys is pretty impressive. So
Good.
yeah, tattoos was his thing. So we never did one food reward. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Good idea. Um, so we haven't really, I don't think, touched on kind of like sugar and carb consumption and how that affects like our fitness performance and goals, even motivation. Do you ever want to speak to
Yeah,
that?
I mean, it depends, I think, like what types of exercise and performance you're talking about. I mean, there is a lot of research, like especially in endurance sports, and even like just weight training, to have a little bit of pre-workout sugar is not a bad thing to do. It kind of primes the muscles, and helps with the recovery process if it's combined with protein afterwards. So, um, but again, excess sugar is the problem more so. So as far as like performance goes, like you said, it's, excess sugar is very inflammatory. So a lot of times people, they get rid of sugar or reduce their sugar intake, reduce their refined carb intake, and yeah, their joints feel way better. Their skin looks better. They sleep better. They have more energy. Their mood's not all over the place. It's more stable. So there's tons of really powerful ways. And I think a lot of the ADHD and just all the issues that kids have today, I think a part of it is due to just so much sugar consumption, that they're just always, yeah, their blood sugar levels are off the chart, or they're crashing.
Yeah, we've had a couple experts mention the ADHD and sugar
Okay.
correlation. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good
Seems
one.
like there probably is.
Yeah. So we're coming kind of to the end. Is there anything like we've talked about a few things, but any other first steps that you want to mention, or things that we haven't talked about that might be good for people to hear?
One thing I take, it's not really sugar per se, but I try to take all our clients through to start with, is I call it the 10-year exercise. And basically it's looking at your life 10 years from now, if you don't make the changes that you should make right now in your health and wellness, and just really visualize that. Like, what would that look like? What would that feel like? Like, make it as powerful as you can. And like, sometimes people can actually cry and really get sick to their stomach by thinking about what that would look like. A lot of times, if your parents are good examples of not what to be, you can look at them as examples of like, I do not want to be like my parents. And then, so really visualize that, write it down, get a really intense picture of the negatives, and then flip that around and visualize your life, even 1 year from now, but 10 years from now, if you've made these changes that you should make. So maybe it's reducing your sugar, starting to exercise regularly, and just think about what in your life now has changed, what's better, what can you now do, what how does your body feel? What types of vacations can you go on? What types of friendships do you have? Maybe it's with your grandkids, whatever the case may be. And that contrast, hopefully, is one way to really help you in the moment, because, a lot of our decisions today don't really show up until the future. And so that's one way to kind of try to future pace what could happen, so that you become more motivated immediately, because, it's hard. Like, we know that probably we're going to die earlier, have complications later in life if we eat unhealthy, but it doesn't really affect us necessarily today as much. And so that delayed gratification, or the delayed negative experiences, is not as powerful as in the moment. So whatever you can do to kind of trick your mind or motivate yourself to take it seriously. And then, like I said, the biggest key is changing your environment and setting yourself up for success, because you can be really motivated, but if you put me in like a candy store or something like that, a candy and a nacho store with maybe some pizza, I would be 300 pounds, even though I might have the best intentions. It'd just be too much temptation. So so those are kind of a few things.
Yeah. There's some good things for people to, good exercise. I like that 10-year plan thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at how good your life could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have a really wonderful gift for everybody to kind of get them kickstarting on their healthy life and program. So a free 21-day program to work out at home with you guys, your trainers and stuff.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Like I said, we've done a lot of online programs throughout the last decade, but with COVID, we've invested tremendously into our online abilities to help people. And, we've got 500 plus clients that work with us on a regular basis right now online. And you can do live Zoom workouts with us. We've got probably 3 to 6 workouts a day, live 45-minute workouts. Just use a set of dumbbells and a ball, which is great. There's a lot of pre-recorded workouts. So if you want to work out at 2 a.m. or whatever times that we're not available. And then we have a bunch of like written workouts too. So you can, do that. We've got daily meditations. We've got yoga videos. We've got tons on nutrition. So eating plans, recipes, menus. We've got a whole series on the emotional side of eating and how to kind of, break emotional eating habits, and lots of other nutritional topics there. So just, lots of stuff there. And our goal is to, really reach thousands of people using kind of COVID as the impetus for it. But we're planning on continuing this indefinitely. And so we're excited for it. So we want to give you 21 days to experience it. You'll get every day or however many days you want to work out, kind of a set plan. And then there'll be accountability with it. Our coaches will be checking in every day to make sure that you are doing what you're committing to doing. And it's great for beginners. If you've never exercised before, if it's been 10 years and if it's pretty good all the way up, if you're an elite athlete, it may not be the best, but up until, someone who's pretty fit, we can scale the workouts to you. So there'll be a link somewhere around here for those. And all we ask is you to do it, follow it, and get great results. Give us a review. And of course, our hope is that you fall in love with the program, the results, and then want to continue after those 21 days are up. So if you do sign up, you'll get to talk with me. I interview each person before we start the 21 days, just to make sure that we feel it's the right fit for you. Because I don't want to spend time, or I don't want you to spend time, trying something if I don't think it's gonna work for you.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a great stuff for people. So everybody grab that, fill up, and put your email address below and click that and get that gift. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. All the great information. I hope everybody has learned a lot. Where else can people find you? Website and all that?
So TC Madison, Transformation Center Madison. So tcmadison.com. Dustin Maher, you can Google my name. Facebook is kind of the social media that I use mostly. If you go to the website, if you're local in Madison and you want to come in person, as of now, we we're wearing masks and we're doing workouts. Otherwise, you can join us online anywhere, of course, in the world. And we have people all over the world joining us, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much again. And yeah, thanks
Yeah,
everybody
thanks
for joining.
organizing this, Michelle.
Oh, yeah. No problem. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining in. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Bye.